Hi, welcome to our channel Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The Path of Self-Reflection, Finding Inner Peace in the River of Life. Having left behind the world of indulgence and wealth, Siddhartha embarked on a new chapter of his journey, one focused on self-reflection and finding peace within. He had now seen the futility of chasing external pleasures and realized that true happiness could not be attained through wealth or sensual experiences. Siddhartha's heart and mind sought peace, but he knew that the path forward was not one of denial or indulgence. It was a path of deep understanding, mindfulness, and connection with the greater whole. This part of his journey would reveal the importance of self-awareness, the lessons of impermanence, and the transformative power of simplicity. The decision to leave the material world behind. After Siddhartha left the luxurious life he had built, he wandered through the forest, contemplating his next step. His heart was heavy with the understanding that the world of wealth and pleasure had provided no lasting satisfaction. While Siddhartha had learned many valuable lessons during his time with Kamala and Kamaswami, he was now ready to seek a new path, one that would lead him to inner peace. Siddhartha recognized that the endless pursuit of external desires had distracted him from his true self. It was time to go inward, to seek the answers that resided deep within his own heart and soul. Siddhartha realized that, like the river that flows endlessly, life itself was in constant motion. It was always changing, always flowing, yet it was also connected, seamless, and unified. He understood that he, too, was part of this flow, and to find peace, he needed to let go of his attachment to outcomes of the material world. He decided to embrace simplicity, to live in the moment, and to find peace in each passing moment, rather than in external achievements or experiences. His decision to leave everything behind and wander in the forest was not one of despair, but of hope. Siddhartha was not abandoning life. Rather, he was abandoning the pursuit of superficial goals. He was seeking the deeper meaning of life, not through indulgence, but through inner stillness and reflection. The encounter with the river, understanding the flow of life. One of the most important turning points in Siddhartha's journey came when he encountered a river. This river became the symbol of his spiritual awakening, a powerful metaphor for the constant flow of life and the interconnectedness of all things. As he sat by the river, he felt a deep sense of peace and stillness. The river, which had been flowing continuously for centuries, seemed to hold all the wisdom of the world. It taught Siddhartha that life, like the river, was an ongoing process of change, where each moment flowed into the next, and each individual experience was part of a greater whole. Siddhartha observed the river with a sense of awe. He realized that, just as the river never stagnated but was always in motion, so too was his own life in a constant state of transformation. The river did not resist the changes it experienced. It simply flowed, accepting every moment as it came. And this was the lesson that Siddhartha took to heart. He understood that life, in all its forms, was impermanent and ever-changing, and that true peace could only be found by accepting the flow of life without attachment. The river also taught Siddhartha about the interconnectedness of all things. He saw how the water that flowed downstream was connected to the water upstream, just as every moment in life was connected to the moments that came before and after it. The river became his teacher, guiding him to understand that true wisdom lay not in resisting the flow of life, but in accepting and understanding it. By allowing himself to be part of the flow, Siddhartha was able to let go of the past and stop worrying about the future. The role of the river in Siddhartha's transformation. The river was not just a symbol of life's impermanence. It was also a mirror for Siddhartha's own transformation. As he sat by the river, he began to understand the deeper meaning of existence. He realized that just as the river was a continuous flow of water, so too was his life a continuous flow of experiences and lessons. Every moment was part of a greater journey, and each experience, whether painful or joyful, was a necessary part of his growth. The river's steady, unchanging flow contrasted with the chaos and instability of his previous life. By meditating by the river, Siddhartha began to feel a sense of inner stillness and calm. It was through this stillness that he began to understand the nature of true peace. Siddhartha's mind, which had once been restless and filled with desires, started to quiet down. The constant chatter of the ego gave way to a deep sense of inner peace. The river helped Siddhartha realize that peace could not be found by avoiding the world, nor by chasing after desires. It could only be found by embracing life as it was, with all of its changes, uncertainties, and imperfections. A real-life parallel, the healing power of nature. Siddhartha's encounter with the river and the wisdom he gained from it is akin to the experiences many modern individuals have when they immerse themselves in nature. For example, Sarah, a busy professional who spent her days working in a high-stress job, found herself overwhelmed and disconnected from herself. One weekend, she decided to take a break and hike through a local forest. As she walked among the trees, listened to the birds, and breathed in the fresh air, Sarah began to feel a sense of calm she hadn't experienced in a long time. Much like Siddhartha by the river, Sarah realized that nature had the power to restore balance and peace within her. The natural world, in its simplicity and timelessness, reminded her that life was not about striving for external success, but about finding inner harmony. Sarah's time in nature helped her reconnect with herself and let go of the stresses and pressures that had been weighing her down. This moment of reflection and stillness brought her a sense of clarity and peace. The meeting with Vasudeva, the teacher who led Siddhartha to enlightenment. Siddhartha's journey took another significant turn when he encountered Vasudeva, a simple ferryman who had lived by the river for many years. Vasudeva was an enlightened being, though he did not follow the traditional religious paths of the Brahmins or ascetics. Instead, he lived in harmony with the river, listening to its flow and learning from its wisdom. Vasudeva saw Siddhartha's potential and became his teacher. However, Vasudeva's teachings were not through words, but through silent presence and the simple act of living in harmony with nature. Siddhartha learned from Vasudeva that wisdom could be found in the most ordinary of lives. The ferryman did not seek wealth, status, or worldly achievements. He simply lived by the river, observing its flow and listening to its lessons. Vasudeva taught Siddhartha to listen deeply, not just to the world around him, but also to the quiet voice within himself. It was through this listening that Siddhartha began to experience a deeper level of understanding. He realized that the wisdom he had been seeking all along was not something that could be taught through books, philosophies, or spiritual practices. It was something that could only be experienced by truly listening to life itself. Vasudeva's role in Siddhartha's journey was essential. The ferryman's silent guidance helped Siddhartha see that enlightenment was not something that could be attained through external actions or teachings. It was something that had to come from within, through direct experience and self-awareness. The most important lesson Siddhartha learned from Vasudeva was that peace and wisdom come not from searching for something external, but from being present with what is, right here and now. A real-life parallel, finding guidance in simplicity. The teachings of Vasudeva can be compared to the wisdom that many modern-day mentors or guides impart through simplicity and presence. Take Michael, a man who is searching for meaning in his life after years of following the corporate path. He met a retired teacher, an elderly woman named Clara, who had lived a simple life focused on helping others and living with integrity. Clara did not have grand theories or philosophies to offer. Instead, she lived her life with kindness, listening to others, and being fully present in each moment. Through his time spent with Clara, Michael learned that the key to peace and fulfillment was not in accumulating knowledge or possessions, but in living with awareness and authenticity. Much like Siddhartha learned from Vasudeva, Michael realized that true wisdom could be found in the simplicity of life itself, in being present, listening deeply, and embracing each moment as it comes. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.